Hello everybody, welcome back to the YouTube video. Today we're going to be reacting, not playing, but we're going to be reacting to a short series called Vita Carnis, made by Darian Quilloy. A very talented and creepy looking profile picture, man. He made this series called Vita Carnis. It's very like gruesome. It's about weird hosts things. I don't really know. But they have two parts: Vita Carnis Living Meat Research Documentary Full Footage, and Vita Carnis New Beginnings. This one came out like a month ago. This one came out 2 years ago. So they have like a long span within each other. So we're going to be reacting to Vita Carnis Live Meat Research Documentary. There are different chapters in this. The introduction, trimmings, meat snake, meat mimic, harvester evolution, the host, and monoliths, singularity as well. So, you know what, let's get right into it. Vita Carnis Living Meat Research Documentary. Warning, this video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content like gore, flashing lights, violence, death. Your discretion is advised. Classified material, federal law provides civil... Okay, this is just that thing. Alright.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years.
Yeah?
Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments.
Yeah, that's
From
right.
barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn of life itself. Only until very recently, things have changed.
Oh,
New
what is
life
that?
forms have appeared all around
Those
the
like
globe and
the
completely
mimic
changing
things,
the
or
balance
like
of nature and what we know
trimmings,
about
or like
evolution
monoliths?
itself. That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their
Internal
wondrous
subtitles.
ways of life. First, what are these new life forms? Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931, there has been much debate on what these newcomers are, and where they came from.
Yo, that went off the map. So we can see it started in 1930, and right now it's like 1980, 1970.
Much debate on what these
And they
newcomers are
growing.
and where they came
They went
from.
off the map.
Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they demons
Probably
who
not.
come from hell to purge humanity?
Probably not.
From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain: Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today. But here is what we do know. These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones.
Like humans?
They greatly
basically.
resemble animals with no skin, or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics,
pure muscle.
they have been named accordingly as Vita Carnis. The Carnis species consume decaying,
What does that
organic
mean?
matter, but
Isn't
their
that like
main diet
Latin?
is composed of raw meat.
What we know, made of muscle, organs, and bones, greatly resemble mammals without skin or raw meat. They consume organic material, mainly flesh of other animals.
Not including their Carnis relatives.
Okay.
The Carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the Carnis species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure
What
is
the
the
hell?
host to divisions of other, smaller branches. In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients.
They look like veins. Isn't it like what a vein is made out of? Like different arteries and stuff? Or like or like what's like the thing that goes in like your neck? The trachea, and then it goes into like the alveoli thing?
It's absorbed from its surroundings.
Some people will know.
The ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth. The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means.
Humans?
Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis.
Oh.
The dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of environments.
Oh, we can see like the whole world. Red means bad, black means good. You can see like a little part of like northern Brazil, almost Colombia is safe. I can see like a little bit on Africa. That's like Egypt. That's like Algeria, Tunisia. There's like some white there, like a little bit right there. Some in like Italy. But that's probably gonna go away soon.
I don't think it's gonna last long. And can be found pretty much anywhere. Its recent inclusion in the ecosystem has caused many major changes in nature's balance.
Esther.
One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead. The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the
like
decayed crawl.
I wonder if this is like a plant, like, eventually it just dies. Like a plant, it has its peak, like this thing reaches its peak and then like it slowly dies. And then like the plants use it as like a fertilizer or something, like a source of food.
Herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well.
Oh, so it's like
the presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again.
Oh, so it's like
this form of symbiosis leads to...
Alright, so it starts with the crawl. The crawl gives energy to... When the crawl dies, it gives energy to the plant, which then the rabbit eats the plant, and then the wolf eats the rabbit, and then the wolf poops the rabbit, and then the crawl uses... The poop turns into crawl. Or like a crawl uses the poop. That's how it works. And then it starts over again.
To an environment where all populations thrive. Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage.
That is a weird looking human, bro. No human's hands goes down to their knees.
Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms. The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality.
That's crazy.
The crawl may also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards.
That's not
the
FDA
crawl also
approved.
plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying. Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment,
what is that?
A node of meat may develop on one of the branches.
A mushroom?
This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal.
What? So now I can make different organisms? It just went from being a friendly little plant to making things. Like making like living things.
This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing.
What is this?
The first of these creatures are the trimmings. The trimmings.
Oh, what was that?
The first of these creatures are the trimmings.
We have to read that. I'm sorry. It's like a little letter or something. Hold on. Hold on. I can't read that, man.
The trimmings. Trimmings are small animals that resemble skinned raccoons. They are commonly known to have a plump body, round head, small eyes, nose and ear holes, and a gape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics.
Godzilla?
One thing they all share in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger than a basketball.
Alright.
Its life starts with its separation from the crawl.
Alright, hold on. Okay, so you're telling me now that this thing went from being a peaceful living thing into something that makes another thing that can go turn into a human destroying thing that can literally kill anything in its path. That is crazy. What is it gonna make next? Like a
It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume. Although it isn't omnivore, Being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals.
Okay.
Although its appearance is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature, only fleeing, screeching, and hiding when threatened. Because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators.
Oh.
Naturally, its population would eventually die out. This is not the case.
Whoa, it happened again, man! What is that?
It's not the case. Naturally, its population would eventually die out.
Oh, I think I can read that. I think I can read that one. But I'm gonna like try to read the other one in like a voiceover. Okay, mass trimming infestation. Estimated 400 plus trimmings gathered under a large abandoned satellite dish. The reason why this is happening, why this is the cause. Okay, so this is like false. So there's like actually like they're really dangerous or something. 400 under one satellite dish. Wow.
Is not the case. The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their numbers.
That's why there's so many. Oh my god, you see that part in Brazil, Egypt, and Italy. It's like gone.
Trimmings grow at a decent pace, reaching maturity at around 7 months, having a maximum lifespan of 2 to 4 years.
Okay, like a hamster.
Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests, due to them digging through trash bins and making excessive noise at night.
Photographed by who is Vonti, I guess.
Besides all of this, some people still keep trimmings as pets and relatively domesticate them. Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature. From their plentiful numbers
how do you keep that
to
thing
their
as a
skittish
pet?
nature, they are truly a thing to behold. The next species on our list is the meat snake.
Meat snake? Oh, what was that?
On our list is
lightning?
The
I saw
snake.
Bro, I really want to read this. Like a whole story, man. That's so cool. During the travel on one of their expeditions, a great storm struck it. A great storm struck. It was so powerful, it swayed the boat. The royal family rowed and pushed the prince out and into the sea. So a boat crash happened and like the prince got pushed into the sea.
The meat snake.
Hey.
The meat snake is a worm-like creature, made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes. When it first separates from the crawl, it is only a few centimeters in length. Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters.
5 meters!
Under extreme conditions, like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length.
Whoa, what was that?
Natural disasters, war, or plague. It can greatly surpass...
We need to read that again. Bro, they aren't playing too much at this point, man. It's only been 8 minutes.
It can...
Largest meat snake ever discovered. During a sweep of underground settlements made during the war, a massive-sized meat snake was discovered, stuck inside an underground railway. The beast was measured at a total of 40 meters in length. It is believed that bodies gathered during the war were fed to the creature, causing it to reach the unbelievable size. It was cult activity. Ugh. Weird.
Greatly surpassed this length. The meat snake's
Exactly,
diet
but 40
consists
meters.
entirely of dead animals or parts. A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism. The meat snake allocates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby.
Oh, sense.
This process shares many similarities to regular snakes, hence the meat snake's name. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole. Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals. Some will break down soft tissue like skin and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible. After that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake.
Oh my god!
Unsatisfactory parts like
So
skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted. Speaking of skulls, the meat snake
So it uses other animals' length to grow. So if it's like another meat snake, it's gonna grow double.
will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own. Each meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed. During its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed.
That's like a human skull,
A
bro.
meat snake's lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years.
28!
The meat
Wow.
snake has no predators and is immune to disease due to its preserving chemicals.
That's
The only
crazy, 28
significant ways
years.
a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating. Interestingly, the meat snake is the only member of the Carnis family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis,
Oh my
splitting
God.
itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms. Meat snakes
Okay.
can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot, not too cold. Their population depends
So like, yeah, you see like on like a lot in Europe, Brazil, Argentina, like a lot in like Sydney, Melbourne area, New Zealand, China, Vietnam, Laos, Indonesia, Taiwan, and all these areas. It's like I guess this is like Southeast Asia, the whole of Europe basically. Not much. If you live in like over here, you're like pretty much safe. There's nothing to worry about. If you live in Mexico, like you're safe. Or like if you live down here, or like just live in Antarctica at this point.
not too hot, not too cold. Their population depends entirely on the amount of corpses available. Where there is death, there are meat snakes. Humanity will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease.
Alright.
Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts, and
But how
within zoos to
durable are
dispose
they?
of deceased animals.
Zoo? Huh?
They are extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them, only acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal. This means they are very easy to tame. Overall, meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself. It is an amazing experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic.
Oh no, I know this one. What was that? After being stranded at sea, the young prince eventually was cast to an island. Injured, the prince stumbled his way into a nearby cave. The prince used what magic he could to put himself into a healing sleep. Okay, so after that, he got into like an island, just ran into a cave.
The mimic.
Minecraft.
The mimic is a bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy.
Oh
They
god.
greatly resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging,
What the hell?
empty eyes, and their most prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile. Although it resembles a happy face, this is due to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped. The
You're looking
moth
too
mimic
happy.
contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back.
Oh god.
This tooth composition is ideal for biting down onto meat and swallowing chunks whole. A mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh.
Human flesh? Oh god.
Because of this, they are
What
found
was
solely
that?
around human populated areas.
What?
Because of this, they are found solely around human populated areas.
Human populated? Oh my god. So might as well just live up here in Russia or something. Oh, they're mainly found in China, India, of course Japan. That place is packed with people. And it's pretty tiny. Not really. US, like Florida, Mexico, like Pakistani region, this area, Brazil, a lot in like the Niger area. Jeez, and like Ghana, Turkey. Oh my god, might as well live in Greenland or up
The
north
mimic's
somewhere.
life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals, moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning. Its hunting
God.
style changes and becomes much more complicated. It now stalks and feeds only on humans. It will locate human
What was that,
populated
bro?
now stalks and feeds only on humans.
Mimic locked in home after owner escaped.
It will
Oh, there's like a
locate
black one
human
over there.
populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture. Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable. This is typically when the human is asleep at night.
Oh my
Once the
god.
prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption. Once
Oh
the
my
mimic has had
God.
its fill, it will leave the scene, a fair distance away from the human population, and begin to digest its meal.
Stationary mimic found outside of town, presumably digesting last night's meal. Photographed by Spite of Artemis.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle
Oh,
prey
God.
into cornering themselves.
That scared me.
Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
Oh my god, this is real footage? Ooh. Ooh. Stay quiet. Oh my god, he's trying to get in. You are not surviving this, bro. Ooh! Turn your light off! Oh my god. It's like FNAF. Turn your light off. Oh my god, I literally saw it. Oh, what is going on? Oh, he's gonna see you with that light on. Jeez. Oh my god. I do not like this one bit. Oh my god, bro. Jeez. Let me see your face. Oh my god, his hands are huge. Oh my god! That is crazy!
The next stage of the mimic's life cycle has 2 potential morphs it may develop into. If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will develop more human-like features. It will grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being. It now can blend entirely into civilization and lure others.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, this one is the mimic. This one right here is
or
the
humans
mimic.
more effectively. The second type of morph happens when a
Where'd the
mimic
music
receives
go?
an overabundance
Oh.
of food. It will grow into a larger, more evolved hunter.
Oh
Its
my
proportions
God.
will increase in
Elder
length, and
mimic
its
anatomy.
humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark coating of a flexible skin, which is highly durable, and increases in strength the more the
Bro,
elder
you can shoot a
mimic
gun at it and it'll
consumes.
just bounce off like.
This excludes the face, which is now coated in a pale
Oh
pink
my
skin.
God.
The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat, leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been heightened. This makes an elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet. Because of the obvious threat this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here
Get
are
a
the
bazooka.
instructions.
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or there have been mimic sightings. 2. If you encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities. 3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4. In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people. 5. If you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks.
Okay.
6. In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area, and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture. A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey, and will move on.
Be safe,
He
and
just wants to
avoid
take
any
it and
encounters
go.
with a mimic at all costs. Next up, the
Wow.
Harvester. The Harvester.
Whoa, it was
Duck.
another story.
The Harvester.
Okay, we found another story, another piece of the puzzle. Let's take a look at this one. Alright. Both the princess sleep was long, but the what does it say, bro? But the princess sleep was long. He slept for what seemed like forever. As he slept, the land around him changed and grew. It was unrecognizable from when the prince had just first arrived, but the sleep still needed time to heal the prince. Much more time. But it kept the prince safe while he rested, guarding him from the elements as the land changed. So we're seeing from spring, summer, autumn, winter. Okay. He slept for like years. What?
The Harvester.
Oh, shoot, sorry. Alright, the
The
harvester.
harvester is a large, bulbous mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base. The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter.
Okay.
The tendrils,
tall.
on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter
Oh my
horizontally.
god.
The harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in the unique
Oh
and
god,
deadly
I'm
way.
pretty sick right
A
now.
harvester is created when a node that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below
Oh
the surface
God.
of the ground. The harvester is equipped with 2 types of specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines
you
have
just,
a
like,
vein that feed
chainsaw
into
it?
them that pump 2 types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis. The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting. Whenever a large animal moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse. The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, the second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped once. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients. These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground.
Oh God!
Once secure,
it's like a funeral.
The tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester.
To grow even longer.
This bulb houses all the vital organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy. The remains underground decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals. A strange behavior the harvester displays is its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens. One, it could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return, making it not worth the time. Another, could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where prey may thrive, and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing. Although it is a spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous. The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests.
Yeah, but you know where you should live? Iceland. I've concluded that Iceland's the best area to live.
If you are stung by a harvester,
or
there will be no way of helping you,
South America.
Being that there is no cure, and fatality is 100% positive.
Oh God, what was that?
Cure, and fatality is 100% positive.
Oh my God. Another newspaper. That's not a story, it's a newspaper. Let's read it, shall we? Let's go ahead.
100% positive.
Family attacked by harvester while hiking. Authorities refused to handle the harvester, only putting up warning signs and addressing the public to be more careful. I can't read like the highlighted like blacked out text because it's like such low quality. I'll try to like find like an online version. Maybe I can read it there. But for now, this is all we have.
The best thing you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place.
Just live in Iceland, bro.
If you
not
are
that
hiking,
difficult.
Take note of any warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters around. If you also notice an abundance of lush, ground-dwelling plants in a forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife, this is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks.
Or just stay on the road.
If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands, distracting the bulb for a moment. You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way.
Okay.
You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious. or you will be a harvester's next meal. Next up is the host.
Oh no. What is this?
The host-
Oh my god, was that a cat? What the hell? I swear I just saw a cat. Like something like a cat or like a rock or something. Let's see.
Next up is
The host.
the host.
Oh god. I can't read that. During a time of hardship, the critters were struggling, barely got food to go, whatever they... Oh god, I can't read this. Hold on. Wait, give me a second. I just can't even read this, man.
The host.
Oh god, it's still freaking paused. I don't know, it's like the critters are somehow involved or something.
Influence. The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease.
Okay.
The host is a semi-humanoid looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms. Other than this, it shares no other characteristics. The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue fibers,
like Canada?
tendons, and veins. In
Like
some parts of the body are
Greenland,
covered in a meaty
Russia?
plate, used to cover
Or
any
by
large
anonymous.
exposed areas, but allowing movement. The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding. On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures,
Damn.
extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air. These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs.
Oh god, what the hell is that? More.
Hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs.
Oh god, is that people?
Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America.
What? W, just live in Iceland.
Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This is because of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one.
Oh, just poop itself, bro.
The
What?
spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled.
Damn.
A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change.
Turn green?
The first symptoms that
turquoise?
appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more serious symptoms appear over time. These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you, or someone you know show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services.
Why did it turn dark?
After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk.
Oh my god.
The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual. If the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs. The host will consume them and discard the leftover scraps.
Jeez.
However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal.
Alright, that's good.
If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location.
What? How? It doesn't even have legs.
Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. Next, the monoliths.
Whoa, what?
The monoliths.
Oh, another story. Jeez, huh? What is a monolith? Let's read this, come on. Oh, okay, we can actually read this one. Although one day the critters found the cave while searching for food, they found the prince in trance in his healing sleep. The critters were so awestruck and enchanted by the prince's magic. Okay, it's like a whole storybook, damn.
The monoliths. The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972, in the area of...
Oh, we can see like here, right there.
There are only 7 monoliths, all of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter. This ring of monoliths surrounds... The monolith is a Titanic-sized being, measuring roughly 120 meters in height.
What?
Each monolith has 2 trunk legs that are firmly embedded underground. The legs
What
connect
is
to a
this
torso.
thing?
The creature itself is made of hundreds of thousands of meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure. These strands end at the neck, fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an upside-down triangle, with a hole in its center. On each side of the monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like
Strands.
appendages. These reach just barely
Tentacles.
to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away. What the monoliths do is simply stand and do nothing. The only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in...
Whoa, we know it's like
During this
Canada.
period, they were extremely aggressive. When the group of were making their way to the city, the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out. When military
Damn.
vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast, completely knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity. Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature.
Oh, are we gonna get footage? What? Oh! We see that!
Although damaged, it regenerated at great speed, and resumed its stance unscathed. Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all. Ever since, the monolith stands silently, now only a grand spectacle of awe and mystery, only adding more questions to these meat beings.
What's the
And
purpose,
finally,
though?
the last creature on this list is...
The singularity is a
The singularity. I want to read that, though.
This list is...
Who is this creature? Where are they? Are they dangerous? A thought was, though, what if this creature could use his magic to help them? It could grow food, heal sickness. They continue to argue about the prince and his image injured. I can't read this, man. It's too like grainy. Oh my god, bro, what?
The singularity is an orb comprised of a dark-colored mineral with hints of luminous colors within its core. The singularity is estimated
It's like a
to be
black
1
hole.
meter
Verum
diameter.
Carnis.
The orb has several unique qualities that are not well understood. The singularity typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also a variety of reading that has been documented coming from the orb itself. Various things like magnetic fields, energy signatures, and other pattern-like signals released by the singularity.
Good goodness.
The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info about the singularity is hidden or confiscated by officials. We were only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by...
Marvelous and
What?
majestic world that exists today. It's as extraordinary to have such strange
Yeah, real
and mysterious
extraordinary, bro.
beings
What the
appear
hell
all
is a
around us.
singularity?
Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery of the lives of these living meat creatures.
Thanks for watching. More to come. Yes, mate. Made by Darian Quilloy. Shout out to that guy. This one is called Vita Carnis New Beginning. I think this one's about the singularity, but we'll find out. Warning, this video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content like flashing lights, gore, violence, death. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright.
Today, something has happened within the restricted zone, where a large group of cultists have been apprehended.
The
Several
monolith?
teams of military personnel
Cult leader apprehended. Military veteran Simon Vanguard found to be the head of the secret organization. Simon was arrested during the raid of Lanborough Mall, where he was found leading high-ranking cult members in a ritualistic sacrifice. Custody of Simon was manded over to the police by Carcass, where he will face trial for his
now have
crimes.
arrested
Okay.
high-ranking cultists and have unmasked their identities to the public. Shockingly, several of these members are well-renowned politicians and high-ranking members of multiple governments across the
Many
globe.
documents have been released providing
Okay.
sufficient proof of the atrocities that were being committed. Some of these crimes include murder, kidnapping, torture, ritual
He was a military
sacrifice,
veteran.
and the list goes on.
The members are found guilty of deliberately providing false information to the public in an attempt to cause harm.
The new Trier Company has been found to have very significant ties with cultist activities and has been shut down. All new Trier products have been deemed
Cult
hazardous
conspiracy.
for consumption.
Cultivation farms are facing pressure to shut down.
Public unrest grows as
Oh!
the new Trier cult case
Is that a mimic?
brings more crimes that were
Mimics
hidden
left
away to
unchecked.
light.
The people are outraged by how little was actually being done.
They demand that something be done to
Oh
handle
my
the crisis.
goodness.
Riots appear in the streets as protests begin to turn aggressive.
Our leaders were plotting against us. Who do we trust? What happens now?
Secret World Order. Illuminati. The singularity.
Welcome to Magister's Wonder Show. I
Oh, God.
am the Magister, and get ready to explore all of the world's wonders. Today, we are learning about the circle of life.
Oh God. Carcass. Dr. Marshall Tredos, head director and doctor of Carcass. Progress report. Vita Carnis. Date 1991. June 30th.
Test report number 4. We still know very little about the nature of the entities. There are 7 singularities in total. Each singularity is roughly 1 meter in diameter. They are made of an unknown material, although it looks and feels very similar to glass. We are unable to sample it in fear of causing potential damage. The material is very dark in color, with red shimmers of light swirling inside. There are some hints of other colors present, but is mostly dominated by the red. Each entity hovers above the ground in a stationary position, although they can be moved with relative ease. Our equipment can detect some subtle
The
pulses
magnetic
of
field?
energy in rhythmic but random patterns.
is even going on?
We don't know what they are. We don't know if it is breathing or communicating. We don't even truly know if they are even organic. This is nothing new, just confirming what we already know. Our first experiments didn't give any
Oh shit, let me turn on
interesting leads.
subtitles.
The most we got was some interference with electronics, especially when there is more than one kept close together. But the experiment we conducted showed extremely significant results. The experiment played out like this. In test chamber 1, a live cow was released into the chamber with V1 for an extended period. They were left together for 24 hours. The test showed minimal results from the entity and an increase in stress from the cow.
Yeah,
Next, the body of a cow was put into the chamber with V1 for 24 hours. The results were extraordinary.
Jump scare. Oh! Jeez! It turned into like that veiny stuff.
5 hours after the whole body had been ingested, concentrations of crawl rapidly from several points from within the chamber. What this could mean, it rewrites everything we knew about the Vita Carnis species.
Allow the crawl to grow out.
First, a young larva hatches from within its egg. It will roam around and find food to help it grow and grow. Once they are big enough, they transform into a pupa, and after some more time, they transform into an adult beetle. The adult beetle will go out into the world in search of food.
Oh god. Dr. Rhodes Saris, crawl specialist, head cultivator, progress report, Vita Carnis, date 1991, July 31st.
Audio log. Progress report for crawl samples. Cultivation has been successful. So far, we grew them with 3 specific environmental factors. 1 is our control group, 2 with access to additional nutrition sources, and 3 with exposure to radio signals.
Okay. Come on. Oh.
Group 1 grew on par with standard crawl samples. No distinct abnormalities. Group 2 grew at a faster pace than the control group, as expected. No distinct abnormalities. Group 3 grew against its normal pattern, weaving its way toward the radio. Once the device was claimed, it switched to usual growth patterns. Again, no distinct abnormalities. In conclusion, the samples that were grown in V1's test chamber don't seem to differ from others grown from other sources. Still, we will continue with more factors in further groups, just in case. There have been some developments in the propagation group.
Crawl.
V1 samples have seemingly been able to produce nodules at a slightly quicker rate than wild samples. Control groups show that V1 samples begin node development a few days faster. More time will be needed to say for sure. As for the nodes themselves, there aren't any distinct abnormalities. We've successfully hatched a dozen Carnish juveniles, several trimmings, 2 meat snakes, and even 1 mimic. We will be sending them to the enclosures after everyone's reports get sent out.
I want to see that mimic. Damn.
And then is ground into a fine mint and is now ready for the garden.
Dr. Fawn Penitro, trimming specialist, progress report, Vita Carnis, 1991, August 31st.
Audio log. Progress report for trimming colony. Significant progress in learning the social patterns of a group of trimmings we have been keeping together. A new batch of juveniles were added to the main colony at the beginning of the new progress report. They were accepted into the community immediately. No conflict or rejection observed. They did provide the circumstances to document more of their interactions. Trimmings communicate through a series of vocal cues. Colony members meeting the new batch with squeaks and squeals. They also are not afraid to show us when they are upset.
Damn.
Trimmings also use some physical displays as well. For example, Trimmings do a chewing or chatter motion with their mouths when they are happy or interested in something. The experiment that we performed was to explore the extent of their communication skills. The test went like this. We took one of the trimmings and had them in place in a modified enclosure. A speaker would play 2 separate audio cues. A positive cue would play, followed by a treat, and a negative cue, followed by a small spray of cold water. We did several rounds of both audio cues to condition the trimming's response.
Oh God.
After the test, the trimming was released back to its colony. And after a few hours, we tested how much the trimmings communicated. Another speaker was placed near the colony's enclosure, where we played the same audio cues. It is incredible to see how
They
layered
learn, bro. They learn
interactions
fast.
Although, we tried something a bit bizarre. We found out that a wild colony had settled around the facility recently. It was strange what we did. It was a long shot. We set up a radio device near the wild colony and near ours. We linked both devices up and played the cues.
Wait, so they work together? It's like they have one mind.
There are many predators that would love to have beetles for a snack. And unfortunately, not all beetles make it. Yes, it is sad, but that's how the circle of life works. But look, one of the beetles has laid eggs. And once the beetle's eggs hatch, the beautiful cycle starts again. And life continues on.
That was it? Wow. Was that really it? More to come, bro. Jeez. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.